everybody. Welcome to another Podsilog with Podsilog. Today we have Mr. Jun Dela Cruz with us. He's going to share some insight and some information for all you Podsilogers out there. I've known Jun for over 40 years, a family friend, close friend, and we're just going to share some, some knowledge and some business insights that you might find be beneficial to you. As you know, Jun's very successful. I've seen him growing up. I've known his family. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and between me and Jun, what makes it so special is that he's my brother Larry, Dr. Larry Natividad. They were very close friends, and obviously Jun was his friend, but Jun took me under his wing, and he always every time we had to go out, I always had to go out with my brother, and Jun was always there. Hey, just bring Bobby along, man. He's cool. Just bring him along. So I would always see these two guys laugh and mess around and do some things that we do as adolescents, and it's always good to have a childhood friend, to see them spread their wings. And to see, where Jun is at now, it's just amazing. So, Jun, why don't you go ahead and take it? Thank you for coming on our Podsilog. We really appreciate you. Just tell us about yourself real quick, and what you do, and how we met. Whatever you like, it's open forum.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Bobby, I've known you for 40 plus years.
Yep.
And I'm so very proud of what you've been able to accomplish.
Thank you.
On a personal level. On a professional level, but also giving back to the community through Podsilog.
Yeah.
And when you approached me a few months ago about the idea with you and E and a few of the other guys, I'm like, I'm all in.
Right.
Because I'm all about going out there and extending your reach, and more importantly, getting to the people that really need it. And everybody wants to become part of something bigger than themselves.
That's right.
And the car community is probably one of the unsung communities, especially if it's Filipino based, if you were to call it that.
Yes.
And here in Southern California, there's no better place to be than the car scene, and you've elevated in the last 4, 5, 6 months now.
Yeah,
Has it been 6 months?
Yeah,
It's what it is. And so, fresh out of car week this past week, we'll talk about that later on.
Right.
But
Maybe
to flip the switch a little bit. We grew up, bro, very much the same, man.
Yes, we did.
Although you guys went to schools and schools, I went to St. John Bosco, but our
Right.
parents had the same premise: get good grades, stay in school, kick our butt,
Right.
And one day graduate and go do
Right.
your own thing.
Right.
I think you and I are a little bit different from your brother, right?
Right.
But like anything else, we kind of found our way. And
Right.
I happened to find my way through the family business. Ours was real estate and mortgage.
Right.
We were a direct lender. We were a real estate brokerage in the early 90s. So we did that. I never graduated from college, although I had an impact in college at Cal State Fullerton.
Sure.
But when I when I got into the family business, we were going through a market turn, kind of similar to what's going on right now.
Right.
And so that first run of making money that's what it was all about at 18, 19, 20. F it, let's go make money.
Yep.
And I did that. And when the market turned, I realized, wow, you go from hero to zero overnight. And at the same token, I also saw my future, because I saw people that were married, had kids, families, and I thought we're doing good financially.
Sure.
They lost it all, bro.
Right.
Not just the house, but they lost the family, et cetera, et cetera. So I took a deep dive and said, okay, well, what do I really want to do? Like, where's my purpose? I wasn't in the medical field like my mom and my sister. I was more in that financial arena. And so what caught my attention was like the full financial plan. Right. And one thing I realized, especially being Filipino in Cerritos growing up, we work very hard. We immigrate here, great careers, but we're not very good with money. That's the honest truth. And right away, I separated the difference between being rich versus being wealthy. Now, I can say this about you because I've known your family. You guys are way beyond rich. It's not about the money for you guys. And we have a lot of good friends that are like that too. They're about creating wealth. And wealth isn't of the mind or money, sorry. It's really a wealth of time, wealth with the family, wealth to do what you want, when you want, with who you want.
Yes.
And you get to a point where like you don't have to prove yourself.
Right.
And so I caught on that early because my dad was teaching me that, but I didn't learn it that way when I was in my high school and college years. Because during those years, Bobby, it's all about you wanted to pop off and you wanted to flex and peacock and be a somebody. You know that, need the paper.
Yep.
But once you get there, you start to realize, okay, I need to have a purpose in life because that's what's going to carry you.
Sure.
And so I transitioned to going from mortgage and real estate into full financial services. And I was looking for a platform that was non-traditional, very non-traditional.
Right.
And I would all places to look. I was searching, bro, 6, 7, 8, 9 companies. It was my godfather out of all people. His name is Tony Crungai, that basically says, hey, man, I've known you for years. And I'm like, what do you do? And at first I'm like, this guy's in the insurance business. Like, I would never sell life insurance, right? And he said, well, come and take a look. So I came and took a look with open mind. And in 1994, 95 was when he caught my attention. I saw the platform, I saw the networking, I saw the future, I saw the purpose, I saw the crusade, the mission. And so I literally jumped on this opportunity.
Sure.
And for the last 29 plus years now, bro, I've been rolling on this platform pretty well.
Yeah.
And my reach has gone extensively beyond what I thought was big for me with Cerritos.
Right.
My reach now is in 37 plus states nationwide, travel quite a bit. And my business extends to over 1,000 plus people in my organization. So it's pretty neat.
Right.
And so to think that here we are, grew up in little shadow park in Cerritos, little boys with big dreams. And now we are out there to be able to do great things in life. And so scroll forward now 29 plus years, just seeing your success and our other brothers and sisters' success.
Yes.
It's great to be able to come back and to be able to give back and serve. But more importantly, we do it in our different lines of work,
right?
You know,
right.
And I think it's our hobbies and our families and our, I guess a lot of our dreams that kind of pull us back together,
right?
And the reason why I wanted to hang out with you, I'm the one wanting to hang out with you, is because I love humble people.
Yeah,
I love good people.
Right.
And in the world we live in today, it's very hard to find people like that,
right?
Like mindedness. I mean, you could tell just the way I dress, you dress. We don't wear our success. Right. Our success comes from when we open our mouth,
exactly,
or when we give you a hug.
Sure.
You get to find out that this person's real,
absolutely,
character based, and so that's kind of where it's at.
Right. So I mean, how tell me about like the humble beginnings, like me and you, same neighborhood, and our dad and mom were very honest about education. But what have you learned in terms, or what can you tell the audience out here? Like, what have you learned? Like I would say in Shadow Park, growing up, like what my mom and dad taught you, what your mom and dad taught me. I mean, and the circle that we had, way back in the early 80s, late 70s, you know what I mean? And I just I feel special because, man, look at us. We're doing a podcast, Podsilog. With my neighborhood childhood friend that I grew up with, and for me that's a blessing because how many people could do this?
Yeah, not a lot, bro.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you this. You and I, our families are very different because our dads grew up in that old school.
Yeah.
There's that saying, earn versus given.
Right.
Bro, we weren't given much.
Right,
now, let me say that again. We weren't given much in materialism at all.
Right.
In fact, we remember that growing up.
Yeah.
But we were given a lot in terms of values, discipline. I remember sleeping at your house for the very first time. Not sure if it's okay to talk about it, but I do remember sleeping at your house for the very first time, and I remember how disciplined your dad was about how we prepped, go to sleep at a certain time, wake up, because it's from the military.
Yes.
And of course, when you're a kid, you don't want to have borders, or you don't want to have regiments, right? Sure. But as you get older, you come and appreciate all those things that were given to us, right?
Yes. Thank you, Dad.
Yeah. I remember our thought, I was the only house that you couldn't go in the house with shoes. And I come to your house like, oh, dude, you guys are just as bad.
Yeah.
And here we are today. It's kind of funny. I'm sure you probably do the same thing with your kids to some extent. Maybe not exactly the same. But those disciplines carry you for the rest of your life.
Right.
And I think, when I look back at what we were given versus earned, I'm glad we weren't given stuff like materialistic stuff or things easy, that we earned it.
Right.
Because today, that's why we appreciate everything we have. Right. So I love Shadow Park. I love Cerritos. I love our upbringing. I love us and our roots because I know a lot of friends that always want to run from the past.
Right.
And I realize they run from the past because they didn't learn from anything or they had it too easy.
Right.
And so that's why giving back. When you said, hey, man, Carthlog's all about giving back and connecting, I'm all for it, Right. And I'll be the first to go out there and say, the purpose and the Cruzader mission you guys have is something that's not self-serving. It's really giving to a lot of people because you guys are very endearing and everybody wants to be a part of it.
Right. Yeah. When you reach a certain age, you look about all your experiences, right? I mean, okay, whatever, going to school, getting that paper or working or saving money, sometimes when you do the monotony of doing that every day, you want to break out of that shell. You want to be different.
Bro.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad, God, thank you, God and my parents and my friends and family that, I had a chance to do that. Cause, honestly, I never thought I'm going to start my own business. Yeah. I never thought I'm going to do real estate. I never thought I'm going to be, successful in life, whatever it defines as success might be. And I just think, knowing the right people and just really, treading waters and really connecting.
Yeah.
So, as you know, Podsilog, CCC, right? Cruise, Chow Connect. I learned all those things. A little bit
too much of the Chow part. Yeah.
I learned all these things, and it's just really fun to just see people be successful, but at the same time, where life is up and down. You have successful times in your life, and then you have kind of down times in your life. But what made us strong is, I think, is the family foundation and your influences that you know, who you're with, that you would know how to navigate to go back up again.
Yeah.
Because that's how life is about up and downs, right?
Yeah.
And absolutely. I know right now for you, you're up in your career.
Yeah.
You know, you're now, in your early 50s, but tell me, like, did you fathom to see this, like, right now, at your age, like, to have what you have, to give back, to have freedom of time? I mean, how did that work out for you? I mean,
I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, as well as I do, like you said, chasing the coin and going for the paper.
Yeah.
I believe most people spend their life going after the coin and they never get beyond it.
Right.
And that's where my industry comes in is I keep people living way below their means.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Going back to what I was saying earlier, my biggest crusade and calling is to teach people how to be fiscally responsible with their money.
Right.
And fiscally responsible doesn't mean being a millionaire or even a billionaire, because you can make $1 million, but if you spend $2 million, you're just as broke as a person making 100 spending 200.
Sure.
So wherever you are financially, it's about you being fiscally responsible. That's kind of where that is. But to echo what you just said, bro, I wasn't given what I have today. Mm-hmm. I had to earn it. And there was times where I couldn't rub two nickels together, and I was too prideful to ask for help.
Sure.
And that's how our parents raised us, right? Yeah. Like, you got to figure out on your own. You dug yourself a grave, you get yourself out of a grave. Right. And we all go through these ebbs and flows of life. We do it all the time. One of my earliest challenges growing up, I had physical challenges. I had Bell's palsy happen to me right when I first started my career here, and I was about to quit.
Right.
We lost a baby too as well. We lost our second child, which is our daughter. Right. We've gone through a lot. My dad passed away early, had challenges of health going on. Right. So all these things that came at me were tests to me to see if I can rise above it. That's all it is. Right. And so I appreciate you saying where I'm at today, but I'm just a product of rising above anything that's come my way.
Sure.
That's what life's supposed to be at.
Right.
So I believe I won in my 20s. And I survived it, if you want to call it. Right. And I won in my 30s and did the same thing. Right. Did the same thing in my 40s, did the same thing in my 50s. Right. And you got to continue to rise up. And that's why, like, when I heard you a few months ago, you passed your real estate license and you do other things or investments, stuff like that. Bobby still continue to climb.
Sure.
And you got to climb. I'm at my 50s. I'm climbing again. People are like, what are you doing now? I'm like, I'm doing stuff. It's just at a different level now, but I'm climbing. And the day you stop climbing, to me, is the day you stop living.
Right.
And so, to me, if you're going to get beat up in your 20s, that's a telltale sign what your 30s is going to look like.
Right.
If you get beat up in your 30s, that's a telltale sign of your 40s. So you got to be able to do that. And the best way to do that, honestly, is obviously you got to do it on your own, but it helps to have an environment of people that are successful and happy. Because I grew up on something called faith, family, finance, fitness, fun, philanthropy, and focus. These are called the 7 F's. Yeah. And I don't believe any human being in this earth can accomplish all 7.
Right.
But if you're constantly working at these things, right? And if something's not good at your faith, then go to your family. Something not good at your family, go to your finance. Something not good at finance, go to philanthropy. There's always something to work on, right? And it's like spinning plates. You ever see that picture of someone spinning 7 plates? Yeah. You're spinning a plate, but as soon as you run over here, this one's about to fall. You got to go spin over here. That's the same thing you're doing here in life. And if you're only around people that are just caught up on money, oh, dude, you're very narrow-minded. Yeah. If you're caught up with people just about faith only, that's great. I'm not going to knock any of that because I'm a faithful person, a person of faith as well. But you got to live your life before you go meet your maker, kind of thing, right?
Of course.
So you got to be a person that, to me, is all-knowing, and that's, to me, where life is very, very awesome. Right. To be able to meet people, because you just never know where you're going to meet someone that's going to influence you positively.
Sure.
So, for example, I'll give you an example. So on my phone, people don't realize this till I just said it today. Right. I have stars next to people's names and stuff like that, and most people only have 1 or 2 stars. I'm not just saying this because I see you. As I've gotten to know you the last few months, I'm like, I don't know you much on faith, except for I know we went to church a lot. I know your mom and dad.
Sure, of course.
When it comes to family values, there's a star next to Bobby's name.
Yeah.
I appreciate who you are in terms of family, Tiffany and the boys.
Yes.
And because I get to spend a little bit of time with your boy, right?
Yeah.
I get to be able to say, man, you can see this is Bobby Jr. Like, you can tell who he was, just like how your dad raised you.
Right.
And then when it comes to finance, obviously AMP and what you've done, bro, you're self-made many times over. Your family speaks, volumes in so many ways through our community. So it's just, there's an expectation there. Sure. But you go through all the other ones, fitness and focus and fun and philanthropy and giving back. Yeah. Bro, you're the complete package, bro, in a lot of ways. So I want you to know.
Trying.
You are. But what helps you, too, is being around other people that serve. That's why I think we connect, too.
Right.
And I want to make sure that, I can extend my world to you because it'll be a positive influence. And that's the same with yours to me. Sure. And so good people know other good people. That's always been one of my premises. Right. And so from that, Bobby, I love the concept. I love the idea. I love what's already happened. Yeah. And I love to see the influence into the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Right. There's not one of those fly-by-night, do it for a few months kind of deal. It's a freaking, this is a lifestyle now. Yeah. It's sacrifice. It's work. Yeah. I saw how hard you worked at Car Week this past week, bro.
Yeah.
And only the right people get it. But that's kind of how I explain that. And so I'm always looking. to better myself. I love being around people that are more successful. Not money. That's easy. I mean, that's not important. It is important.
Yeah.
Because money makes the world go round.
Right.
But I love you 10 times more when I see how you are with your family.
Sure.
When I see you a person of faith, you pray before you eat. Just the little things you do, or the hand gestures, or just the eye contact. You could tell this person has worked on themselves.
Sure.
And that refinement's huge.
Yeah.
That refinement's huge, bro.
Yeah.
And you know me, I pay attention to things that aren't obvious.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
that's
to
the
me
key.
Success. That's it.
And
right
that's
there.
the key. And when you learn that trait, not to focus on, not just on the money.
Yeah.
These little, like you said, like handshakes and praying and all that. It really tells something about the
Bro,
person.
and that's why, and that's why it's hard
Yeah.
for some people to give, because they still haven't put themselves together yet.
Yeah.
And I get it. Some people want to jump in. I want to give back. I want to give back, but you could tell that there's not a connect because they haven't served themselves first.
Sure.
So I believe you have to become selfish if you want to get unplugged here for a second.
Right.
You got to get selfish to the point where you got to work on yourself, and it's that 10 years or 10,000 hours mentality. And you know that, Bobby. And we all have it different. You either had it in college, you had it through your parents, you had it through a bad relationship, or whatever the case is. But you're going to have to pay the dues. And so that's why when you see someone like yourself or others that have become successful, quote unquote, you're like, you know what? I get attracted to them because there's something that they are today that I want to become. And that's what I see.
Let me ask you, Jun, real quick. And this might be a little bit, sensitive, but like, how do you handle jealousy? Jealousy on its own, like, jealous of your success, jealous of what you do, jealous of your free time. Like, how do you turn that negativity into positivity?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't entertain it. That's the first thing. I'm so focused on me and going forward that I don't look behind me. Haters usually are the people that are behind you.
Yep.
You're always, you're always challenged by people who want to be where you're at. In fact, you think about it for a second. You never get hate, not never. You almost never get hate from someone doing better than you. Or you never get hate from someone who's where you want to be. So why am I focused on that? So you know as well as I do that we're going to have it. I mean, hate to say it, Filipinos are in itself, they're the biggest crab mentality people in the world. But that's okay. In fact, that's what keeps you going. So how do I handle it? It's that chip on my shoulder that gets me up every morning, for real. It's been getting me up for 53 years. To know that I have something to prove, not to them, but to myself, that there's a better version of myself happening. That's all it is. Today's going to be better than yesterday. This year's going to be better than last year. This decade is going to be better than last year. That's why I'm not a believer of, 50 is a new 30. Nah, dude. Freaking, I maxed out in my 30s, bro. I don't think you'll ever do 100% of what you want to do.
Sure.
But, bro, I did 95% of what I wanted to accomplish in my 30s. And I did in my 40s. And in my 50s, I'm doing the same thing. Just keep raising the bar.
Exactly.
So I don't have the mind space to let haters get into my head. That's probably what it is. And if someone's going to hate on me, well, good. That means I'm worth talking about. That's kind of how I look at it, right?
Yeah. When haters hate you, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. And then you know this. You and I have come across a few situations, people lately, and two people have tried to take shots at Podsilog, but more importantly, you. I'm like, F you, dude, like straight up. And they're like, what's up with you? I'm like, dude, I've known Bobby. You can't claim that. That's not Bobby, dude. Because I know you. Seriously. And I know you've done that for me a few times too. And that's where, to me, the real brotherhood comes in. Because you got the right people's back. And it's not because you need it. It's just because it's the right thing to do. Like, I protect the people that I know that have worked hard on themselves, self-made, self-worth, and then giving back. And the ones who want to play the hate game, guess what? You throw out two forms of hate, you're going to get 5 back.
Exactly.
If that's a life you want to live, go right ahead. You'll never accomplish anything.
On top of that, I think communication is key.
Huge.
I mean, if people don't know how to communicate, of course there's going to be failure. Right. And that's why you reach out to people, you try to talk to them, and hey man, if you drag the donkey to water, but he doesn't want to drink it, hey, you've done your job already. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean and that's why I think a part of, for me to be successful, is communication.
Absolutely.
But some people, they just don't want to communicate, and I don't know why.
No, it's not that they don't want to. If I interject, it's not they don't want to. They don't know how to.
Okay,
they weren't raised that way.
Right.
So you and I, because we had tough dads, and we had a belt.
Hell yeah.
Right? We were forced to be able to communicate.
Right.
And that's where we live in. Unfortunately, most people communicate this way: keyboard warriors.
Yes.
And so they hide behind a keyboard and give their opinions. And to me, that's just a mental weak game.
Right.
And so that's why I don't get caught up in that social media game or the mental weak game. I get caught up on this, man. Like, let's sit together. Let's talk, man. You have an issue? Let's go talk.
Exactly.
Let's see how you look at me. Look in my eyes. Tell me.
Exactly.
Right? Kind of
Face me.
Yeah. And if you can't, the answer's already right there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's all it is. And you don't have to anything to worry about, bro. I love that you brought that up, because that's unfortunately what causes a lot of people to question themselves.
Exactly.
But in reality, that means that there is something that someone's questioning about themselves. You know what you do every day. I know what I do every day.
Right.
So why should I worry about what other people think?
Exactly.
You know, except for the people that really
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Absolutely.
So, June, I know you're having an event this Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
So let's focus on that for a little minute. So what are you doing on Saturday?
Okay.
Saturday.
So, as you know, I've been blessed the last 30 years. I speak in front of tens of thousands of people. I just got done in a Vegas event in front of T-Bone Arena.
Right.
And I had 2 huge segments where I got to speak in front of 33,000 people.
Right.
And something that a guy from Shadow Park, kid that was an introvert, never thought he could ever do.
Yeah.
Yet my influence and reach is pretty good. I do a lot of time on self-improvement, reading. I'm a great orator in my ways, and I'm a great communicator.
Yeah.
And so there came a point where there's a window of opportunity happening in the baby boomer phenomenon that says, if you're born between 1946 and 1964, which is not us, there's this 18-year window where 80 million people were born. This is a while back, right? Well, if they're born one day, they're also going to one day what? Retire and then die. Well, retire first before die. It's too much vision. You have a lot of vision, Bob. So back up before the dying, the retiring. Well, that year is 2029. So these next 3 years is called the critical mass years of that retirement boom. And as they hit critical mass, we're also going between Generation X and Generation Y, which will transition to Z one day. So that means there's going to be the biggest amount of people retiring, focusing on retiring, also wealth transfers in America than ever before.
Sure.
So when I first started the business in 95, I knew this window. It was 2025 to 2029. That was the actual window.
Right.
But critical mass was slated as a 3-year window from 25 to 27. So that means, Bobby, this entire time I've been running my business for 29 years, it's laid out for what's about to happen in 25 to 27. Why? Because when I first started, they said there was $4 trillion of money going to be transferred. That's been updated to currently 78 trillion.
Wow.
Why? People have so much more money in 401ks. Our houses are worth so much more. The word $1 million is no longer a house. It's a car now, right?
Right.
So the world's changed. But because of that, in our industry, we focus on, putting people's financial house in order, really protecting them, really understanding wealth transfers, estate planning, all that. That's what I do. That's like the big magnet of what I do. But this next 3 windows is the why I came here. So that's where I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. And I have a 3-year game plan called the movement, CN movement. So my name, I didn't say this earlier, is Jun Dela Cruz, right? So Crusaders is who we are. Cruzader Nation is my business. So that's who I am, right? But we created this Crusader movement for the next 3 years. And so I'm launching it. Obviously, it starts in January but I'm launching it now. I have events over events happening almost on a monthly basis every 4 to 6 weeks. And I really want to dominate Southern California as my focus more than ever before.
Sure.
It seems like a lot of people make a lot of money here, then take off and build somewhere else. I want to stay here because my roots are here. I believe the people that need the most help are in Southern Cal. They make the most money, but they don't keep it. Why? Some guy named Newsom, the way the tax laws are, et cetera, et cetera. And what most people do is pick up and leave. Well, I'm not going to leave, man. The weather, the friends, the food, it's all here. So let me go out there and pour my heart and give back to what gave to me. And so this weekend's going to be a launching. I have 2 great friends. You're obviously one of them. The other one's a psychologist friend of mine. They're going to speak. And I'm going to collab over the next 3 years with all my great friends and associations because that's what it's all about. That's why I love Podsilog.
Nice.
I'm not one of those guys that pass my business card out and need business. I'm doing good, but there's always room for more. And I always believe the right people catch the right messages. So this weekend, I have it's a very small meeting. I only have about 250 people showing up. But it's a great little kickoff for me, end of summer. And just to tease people, I'll have events that are going to be in the 500 to 1,000 plus over the next few weeks. Next few weeks and months. But I want to kick off this weekend and have a local, which is you. Come on out. So you'll be speaking about 1 o'clock. I'd love to have the rest of the Podsilog community there to go check out Bobby and see what you do. But I just want you to tell your story and what Podsilog is and our friendship and create that alignment because, again, when I said earlier, people want to become part of something bigger than themselves. It's the connect. And it's real. We have a 40-year connect. No one can break that by any means possible, but we can build on each other. And that's why, as you could tell, whenever there's a Podsilog event, you ask, I'm there, bro. I'm there.
And at the end, June, it's 3 letters, right? F-U-N. It's fun, right? Everybody wants to have fun. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to laugh. You know, but everybody wants to escape from whatever they're doing, whether it be work, family, or having internal issues or whatever, relationship issues. Everybody wants to have fun. And that's what I want to create for people, a platform that we could have the same passion of cars and have fun. We cruise, we eat, we chow. And at the end of the day, what we do, we connect with each other, right? We build bridges. And that's what I want to do. And I don't care if, like you said, you'd be a billionaire. Or you could be a guy who's making, $30,000 a year, whatever it is.
Exactly.
But if you have the passion to do something to get to elevate yourself.
Yeah.
You know, that's why a lot of people, what they do is they enter the market, right? They have growth, they plateau, and what happens?
That's it. They come down.
They come down, right?
They come down.
No, but what I want to do is still have that fire in the belly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in my 50s. A lot
Yeah.
of people think I'm in my 50s. You know what I mean?
You don't act like you are, bro.
Yeah, and well, you know, I just think, you know, there's just so much in life to do still.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what
I agree. I totally agree.
I mean, you know, you just have to enjoy life. I look at, you know, my eldest son, Andrew, you know, he's 31 years old, you know, and he's doing great. And I, you know, have my 3 other, you know, sons, you know, my wife, my family. I still have my mom and dad.
You're so blessed.
Thank you, Lord. You know,
Yeah.
I have my business, I have my good friends, you know,
Yeah.
now I have, you know, I through the car culture, Podsilog, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And, you know, it's just, I feel I'm so blessed because my life is always evolving. But with those, you know, evolving times of life, it's like you build relationships.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah. Those are the most important things.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's building, keep on building.
That's you
know what I
remember
mean,
the most.
don't forget, of course, your foundation, your old school friends. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, when your mindset is kind of different,
Yeah.
it's hard to do. It's hard to bring everybody right because they don't have the correct mindset.
Yeah. They don't.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
you know, in your mind, you know, what I mean, it's like, hey, man, if you want to go places and some people want to stay home and all that, well,
Hey, that's
what
on
can
them.
you do? That's on them, right?
Yeah.
At least you
Yeah.
offered. You know what I mean?
you said it. The proof's in the pudding, Bobby. I mean, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
Straight up, there was a
Yeah.
conversation I had maybe 7-8 years ago, and that's when I knew how well you were doing already. And certain people were. I was hanging out with some guys, and it was holiday time, and your name and my name came up before I get to the party.
Sure.
And then I show up and like, oh, the guy who we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? So they're talking about some stuff.
Sure.
It was all positive. And your name came up. I obviously echoed that too as well. And what caught my attention was they said, out of all the people, we actually knew that Bobby and Jun would be 2 of the guys that made it. And I'm like, really? Why do you say that? He goes, because we were the oppressed ones growing up. And I'm like, what do you mean oppressed? Because I thought they meant financially. He said, no. You know, Bobby was Larry's little brother.
Yeah.
Jun was the hiccup or the sidekick to, you know, them.
Yeah.
Because all my friends were good looking. Your brother, good looking guy too,
Sure.
right?
After Larry,
So they were like,
good-looking
Jun's
guy.
always going to get
Yeah.
the crap of it all kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny how that story came about. But then as we started, you know, hanging out this last few years, I think this is a great connect between Podsilog, Cruzader Nation, and others.
Absolutely.
Because to me, that's how you continue to elevate.
Exactly.
You associate with the right kind of people, the right kind of movements, and more importantly, I call it a crusade because, you know, listen, what you do is thankless, Bobby.
Yeah.
I saw how hard you worked this past week, and I saw how you are at all
St.
these last few
Martha's.
weeks. Oh, St. Martha
See?
especially, that was a hot day, right?
I mean,
And but you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter if you don't have a car. Because it's funny because people think you need a car.
Right.
No, it's Podsilog's more about
Exactly.
the connect.
Right.
The car can come later.
Exactly.
In fact, we've all grown up knowing I'd rather be in front of your dad's Torino, or my dad's Cutlass
Exactly.
Supreme.
Right.
But you love your car
Right.
versus a guy who has a whatever Ferrari or Lambo or whatever.
Right.
That just it's just a car.
exactly.
You know, so that's what the purist is all about.
Right. And
Yeah.
and you know, we're both from SoCal.
Dude.
We're the Mecca.
Yeah, there's nothing
Dude,
like
we're
this.
the OGs of car culture.
There's
you know
nothing-
what I mean?
nothing
There's
like it at all.
nothing. You know,
Yeah.
just like gangster rap. Where
Well,
that
yeah.
happen, you know?
Well, shoot, you said fun and food, bro. What else is there, man?
Exactly.
There is,
right?
that's it.
So basic, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're building communities, Jun. I'm really excited for you for the future. I know you're gonna do well, and it is, man. You're a master networker. Like I said, I've seen you. You know, I've seen you grow up riding a bike. You know, I crashed your scooter. You know, I've seen the the challenges in life. You know that, but you persevered. And I think that's where the success is when you persevere.
Yeah.
So I just want to congratulate you, Jun.
Thanks, brother.
And you know, your family, all your boys, your daughters, your whole, your entire network. It's really. I'm very happy to see that just continue to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very proud of you.
Thanks,
You
bro.
know, and not only a friend, but I'm just honestly. I mean, I look at you. I'm like, wow. I can't believe I grew up with this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Touche, brother. Touche.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we're looking forward to seeing you this Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bring it. And the Podsilog community is definitely welcome to come see what we do and see how we can cross paths because that's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, making a difference with each other.
Right. So Podsilog is out there. I mean, I know, thank you for spending time with us to listen to this podcast. But if you ever, need, some guidance or you just want to ask some questions, Jun, myself, a bunch of people, we're here for you guys. So, again, we're here to connect people. We're here, Podsilog, the last connect. That's why, we put that word in there, connect. It's very important that you connect with people so you could build those bridges and build those relationships. All right. Well, thank you, June. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.